thought we played a pretty strong weekend up in Alaska, especially the last two efforts. I thought we deserved better results than we were given, and you hate to make excuses and stuff because they certainly made plays, but I didn't think from an officiating standpoint we were given much of a chance to succeed in those final two games. And sometimes you have to battle through things like that, and we weren't able to. But I think the way we've played, I like where we are heading into this stretch. We really need to execute, and that's got to be our focus. Our efforts there pretty much every single night. It's our execution that needs to follow.
The biggest thing we learned is obviously we can play with anybody. Alaska's tops in the league, or tops in the conference right now, and they're ahead by a good margin too. And we were right with them every night. I think especially the second two nights we were, in the games into the third, and really could have won both games there. So I think that if we're able to play with teams like that, we can play with anybody in the conference. And now we just got to start taking that next step and beating those teams, and not just playing with them, but finishing them off.
We had a tough weekend in Alaska, but before that we've been winning games and losing games, and we just got to stay consistent. And it's a tough thing to do, but we're a young team. But I think now at the halfway point, I think guys are starting to learn what it takes to win in professional hockey. And like I said, we have a lot of rookies and stuff, but they're coming to their own, and I think we're gonna start picking it up.
We have a young team, and we have a lot of young guys in the lineup every night, and I think it just takes some time to get consistent wins and consistent scoring and things like that. And hopefully as we make the turn here into the second half, we really find that stride of consistent goals, and we can put 3, 4, 5 up every night. And I think when that happens, I think obviously we've got the goaltending, and we're starting to tighten up a lot more in the D zone and play just a sharper game all over the ice. I think if we do all those things, I think that's when the 4, 5, 6 game win streaks will come.
We've been stringing together 2 and 3 games, and other teams are putting 4 and 5 together, and that's why there's such a big gap between the top and the bottom. And you never want to be 500 or under 500. You always want to strive to be ahead so you can get a better seed. And for the playoffs, and this second half we got to work on being consistent. We're not scoring a lot of goals, so we're gonna have to win games by 1 goal, and know how to do that, and use that as our identity.
It's a little bit of everything, unfortunately, for us. I'd love to be able to sit there and say, our power play is not scoring. If our power play gets going, that's going to be the difference. It's not really that. It's I think it's easy when it's one thing. It's easy to pinpoint. It's easy to work on. It's easy to try to correct. We have a combination of things. Obviously, we're not scoring many goals. So from an offensive standpoint, that includes the power play. Defensively, we're giving up too many grade A opportunities at key times, and we're not really playing the style or the way that we need to play consistently, and that comes down to a commitment issue. I think it comes down to players. We'll be great for 15 minutes of a 20-minute period, but that 5-minute segment where we stray from our game plan is becoming devastating to us, and you're seeing it in the win-loss category. So for us, if we want to win, we've got to get on board. We got to be on board for 60 minutes every night. And I already alluded to the execution. The work ethic needs to be there, and the execution needs to be probably even higher than the work ethic.
At this point in the season, these are the dog days of the season too. These are the times when you can really you can bury yourselves if you don't play well, or you can start to pull away from teams and bury other teams and put yourself in the hunt for home ice for the playoffs. So obviously at this time of the season, those games are big, and we want all the points we can get. So whether you're playing Alaska, who's on top, or Baco, who happens to be on the bottom right now, it doesn't really matter. All the points are huge, and we need them all. So that's how we got to go into every night and look at it like that.
Well, yeah, I mean, we got to win at home, and that's a given. You got to win at home, and we have 6 games here, and 3 against each team. I think once we get that established, and just take it game by game, and then we can maybe catch a couple of the teams that are ahead of us.
we haven't been winning at home, and so we got to change that. We got Vegas coming in here, and we need to start the first period off with a big period and get the crowd into it, because that's the biggest thing about playing at our rink is the crowd. So I think we got to get the crowd into it more and just figure out ways to win at home. That's the start.
We got a huge weekend this weekend against Vegas, and then we're on the road for a couple. We got 8 and 10 coming up, and it's going to be huge. It's going to be a make it or break it for us in this season, and I think we're on the right track though.